It's Thursday, August 7th, 2008, and it's 4:20 somewhere in the world. I'm your host, Radical Russ Belville. Produced and distributed by the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws in Washington, D.C., this is your NORML Daily Audio Stash, the growing truth about cannabis. Welcome to the most popular podcast regarding marijuana in all of America and all the world, featuring interviews with scientists, politicians, doctors, prohibition policy activists, regular cannabis consumers, musicians, and NORML staff and NORML's board of directors, along with music and comedy no other podcast can offer. You can always find out more about our show at our website, stash.norml.org, and continue the education and conversation on our blog as well. We're ending marijuana prohibition with education, one listener at a time. The podcasting and blogging technology for the NORML Daily Audio Stash is provided by Red Aphid Interactive Media. For your professional web design needs, visit redaphid.com. Good day, Stashers. Welcome to the show. Boy, if you're looking for a laugh, today is the show for you. Every Thursday here, we have our cannabis comedy segment, bringing you some great 420 comedy from Terry Joyce, formerly of Last Comic Standing and currently of Hollyweed Live. And Terry's got a special guest for us today joining us, another alumni of Last Comic Standing, Jay London, who will be here on the show later today. And then, for a comedy triple shot, we've got a new comedian joining us here on the Stash in our second interview segment, Big Al Goodwin, who joins us, and we got some comedy clips from him, too, that'll definitely bring a smile to your face, so enjoy that. That'll be a good tonic after you check out some of our hemp headlines today. There's some pretty sad updates on that Prince George's County SWAT team raid where they shot the two dogs, so I got a couple of updates on that for you. All right, everybody, so sit back and relax, twist up a fatty, and enjoy your NORML Daily Audio Stash. Now it's time to take a look at the latest stories about marijuana from news organizations across America and around the world in our NORML Daily Audio Stash, Hemp Headlines. Update number 1 on dog shooting story. Officers lacked no-knock warrant in raid. From the Washington Post. Prince George's County authorities did not have a no-knock warrant when they burst into the home of a mayor, July 29th, shooting and killing his two dogs, contrary to what police said after the incident. Judges in Maryland can grant police the right to enter a building and serve a search warrant without knocking if the judge finds there is reasonable suspicion to think evidence might be destroyed or the officer's safety might be endangered in announcing themselves. A Prince George's police spokesman said last week that a sheriff's office SWAT team and county police narcotics officers were operating under such a warrant when they broke down the door of Berwyn Heights Mayor Che Calvo, shooting and killing his black Labrador retrievers. But a review of the warrant indicates that police neither sought nor received permission from Circuit Court Judge Albert W. Northrup to enter without knocking. Northrup found probable cause to suspect that drugs might be in the house and granted police a standard search warrant. After the raid, police found the unopened package containing 32 pounds of marijuana in the house. Calvo has said that sheriff's deputies entered without knocking and began shooting immediately, killing 7-year-old Peyton first, and then shooting 4-year-old Chase as he ran to another room. The warrant issue will probably only heighten anger in the community over the incident. Even when a search warrant has been issued, courts have held that police must generally knock to announce their presence, preserve the privacy of a homeowner, and let occupants know they are not experiencing an illegal home invasion. Police officers are sometimes allowed to search without knocking, even without getting authority in advance, but courts have ruled they can do so only if there are specific circumstances at the time of the search that lead officers to conclude evidence might be destroyed or law enforcement could be endangered. I don't really see how a man who received a 32-pound package could take that into his home, hear police knock and say, "Open up, we have a warrant," and then be able to destroy all 32 pounds of evidence and the box before they could take him into custody. Sounds to me like the sheriff's office just wanted to play a little bit of SWAT team, didn't they? Update number 2 on dog shooting story. Police arrest 2 in marijuana shipping plot. From the Washington Post. Prince George's County Police announced yesterday that they have arrested a deliveryman and another man who they say are involved in a scheme to smuggle marijuana by shipping packages addressed to unsuspecting recipients, including a delivery last week to the wife of the mayor of Berwyn Heights. The county sheriff's office SWAT team and narcotics officers raided the home of Mayor Che Calvo and his wife, Trinity Tomzik, after intercepting a package addressed to her that was filled with 32 pounds of marijuana. During the raid, officers broke down Calvo's door and fatally shot the family's 2 black Labrador retrievers. Police said the package was one of about a half dozen retrieved by authorities in the past week along the route of a deliveryman in northern Prince George's County. The packages contained a combined 417 pounds of marijuana, valued at about $3.6 million. So, the mayor and his wife may be the completely innocent victims of a large-scale marijuana shipping plot? You've rounded up 6 packages on this guy's delivery route, but you just couldn't wait to put the pieces together without dressing up like Rambo and terrorizing who you thought was an evil doper? The Washington Post wrote an editorial on this case called "Shoot First, Ask Later." The deputies, guns drawn, kicked in the door, stormed the house, and shot to death the Calvo's 2 Labrador retrievers, one of them, apparently, as it attempted to flee. The canine threat thus dispatched, the mayor, in his briefs, and his mother-in-law were handcuffed and interrogated in close proximity to the bloodied corpses of their dogs. Within an hour, it seems, the police concluded that something was seriously wrong and that there was at least a strong possibility that the Calvos, whose home contained not the slightest evidence of involvement in the drug trade, were unsuspecting victims. Unfortunately, these drug busts run amok are not an uncommon occurrence. The website Drug War Victims, which we have a link to on our blog at stash.normal.org, tells many stories of people not as lucky as the Calvos, people shot to death during drug raids, many of whom either weren't the intended suspect or just happened to be home when SWAT teams served a warrant at the wrong address. The purpose of a no-knock warrant, which again these police didn't have, is so police can have the element of surprise when busting violent bad guys with guns before they can destroy the evidence of their crime. Think of a cocaine dealer with a handgun and the ability to easily flush powder down the toilet. Did police really think that 32 pounds of marijuana could easily be flushed down a toilet? Did the home have a fireplace where it could have easily been burned? And why does any of that matter when you've already tracked a 32-pound package with the man's wife's address on it and it's tested positive for weed? And did they really think that the mayor of this suburban bedroom community was some thug for life brandishing a Tech-9 in his home to protect his weed dealing? Black girls using marijuana prone to riskier sex and a higher STD rate. Washington, D.C. Black girls who use marijuana are more likely to get involved in risky sexual acts and contract sexually transmitted diseases, reveals a new study. Conducted by Emory University public health researchers, the study analyzed the marijuana use and self-reported sexual behavior of 439 sexually active black females in the age group of 15 to 21 years. It was discovered that black girls who used marijuana had significantly higher rates of incident STDs than non-marijuana users, 32% compared to 23%. In fact, the researchers found that those who used marijuana also had more sex partners, riskier sex partners, including a partner just released from jail, and more recent episodes of engaging in vaginal sex while their partner was under the influence. Although no differences in condom use were identified between marijuana users and non-users, results suggest that marijuana users are engaging in sexual acts with riskier partners and under riskier circumstances and had higher rates of STDs. The researchers advised STD and HIV intervention programs designed for adolescent black females that not only promote condom use, but also emphasize the risks of drug use and STD and HIV infection. The study was presented at the International AIDS Conference in Mexico City. Well, once again, we see a report where the lead is based on the idea that using marijuana will cause something bad to happen. What we may be seeing here is correlation, showing that people who like to do risky things may also accept the risk of using a substance that can get you locked up in prison. For example, the part about the partner just released from jail, that could very well be a boyfriend released off marijuana charges. A partner who was under the influence could very well be a boyfriend who shared a joint with the girlfriend. Overall, you can't separate the marijuana use from its prohibition, and its prohibition is more likely the reason behind the different rates in this study. Using marijuana requires interaction with a criminal underground, which by definition is a risky behavior. Once cannabis is re-legalized, run this study again. Then we'll have something to talk about. In the meantime, find me some STD figures on black girls and alcohol consumption, and use that to argue for a return to alcohol prohibition. Canadian official calls medical marijuana rights complaint frivolous. From the Ottawa Sun. A federally licensed medical marijuana user is fuming after receiving correspondence from his city councilor telling him to, quote, quit taking up taxpayers' dollars with a frivolous human rights complaint, end quote. Russell Barth lit up a joint on the lawn of Ottawa City Hall this weekend as he relayed his disgust at an email he received from Councillor Gordon Hunter in response to an email of his own. Barth said, quote, I am not asking for anything special except the same rights that tobacco smokers have. I don't think I should be forcing my smoke on other people, but I offer tobacco smokers and non-smokers far more courtesy than most tobacco smokers do, end quote. Barth emailed Hunter on Friday asking to meet in person to discuss his assertion that his human rights were violated when a cigarette smoker outside his doctor's office building, quote, asked me to move along, end quote. Hunter responded in an email, quote, tough luck on you that you feel you had your human rights violated. Tough luck on the taxpayers of Ontario that you feel this is a serious matter. Bully for you that you can legally smoke dope. I do not feel that gives you the right to shove it in anyone's face, end quote. In a phone conversation on Sunday, Hunter questioned why a councillor's having told someone what's on his mind would be considered so rare as to warrant media coverage. Hunter said, quote, you can't actually think this guy has a legitimate complaint to go before the Human Rights Commission because some people say, don't blow marijuana in my face. Of all the serious human rights complaints there could be, his is about the most frivolous complaint that probably has come across their desk, end quote. Canada's Human Rights Act is somewhat similar to the U.S. Americans with Disabilities Act in that it requires government to modify laws to make reasonable accommodations for people with disabilities. The complainant isn't asking to blow smoke in people's faces, but rather that he get the same consideration a tobacco smoker would get, which is being able to smoke outside an establishment in the same areas reserved for legal tobacco smoking. Councilman Hunter may think it's frivolous, but the right of disabled medical marijuana patients to be able to go out on the town and not have to suffer without their medicine is as serious as having a wheelchair-accessible bathroom. Without those accommodations, we're essentially telling the disabled medical marijuana patient to stay shut up in their homes.
Hello, I'm Paul Stanford from the Hemp and Cannabis Foundation, or THCF. Medical marijuana is legal in 12 states today, and THCF has medical clinics in 6 of those states. Our physicians help qualified patients obtain an authorization for medical marijuana in their state. Patients are eligible for medical marijuana with a history of either severe chronic pain and or nausea, cancer, AIDS or HIV, hepatitis, glaucoma, seizure disorders like epilepsy, chronic muscle spasms as in multiple sclerosis or asthma, neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's, and gastrointestinal disorders like IBS or Crohn's disease. If you or someone you know has one of these conditions, our doctors will help them obtain a permit for medical marijuana. THCF Medical Clinics has offices in Washington State, Oregon, Colorado, Nevada, Hawaii, and California. Call 1-800-723-0188 or go to the web at www.hemp.org or 1-800-723-0188.
Weed.
That's Louie Valley, hooey-ha.
Weed.
Where any office boy or young mechanic.
Now it's time to take a look at 420 Comedy with the star of Hollyweed Live. You know her from the season 1 of Last Comic Standing on NBC. It's Terry Joyce. Well, Thursday means it's time for some more 420 Comedy with our good friend Terry Joyce. Terry, how's everything going?
Everything's going great.
Oh, I heard some bad news coming out of California, though.
Yes, we've been having all kinds of raids at the dispensaries.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and there was one. There was one raid in. I know you've talked about it already, but it happened in Venice Beach at Organica Collective, and there was an interesting article in the Los Angeles Times, which it kind of described what happened, and it's similar to like what happened when I was in the raid as well. And one of the things is that the Drug Enforcement Administration agents hauled off with a pair of flat-screen monitors and weed and contacts from an ATM. And you know that they took those flat screens home and smoked a big bong hit and watched Harold and Kumar go to White Castle.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They're like, oh, we scored. And one of the employees, describes the DE agents were in full combat gear and said like they were literally on an episode of 24 when they bust in on a terrorist cell. And I want to give the feds some fashion advice. You need to dress to the environment. If you're in a beach town, I suggest wearing police beach wear. It's an outfit that I call the tight butt outfit. You wear tiny little police shorts that show off your firm buttocks, and don't forget your bicycle to accessorize the outfit.
Yes, very nice.
I mean, if the DEA showed up like this, trust me, I would be happy to be in handcuffs, just as long as they get a good spanking at the end of the interrogation.
A spanking. Oh, wow. Yeah, these raids, what a bad news situation that is.
Kind of, they even quoted this. One of the employees, after he was handcuffed for 4 hours, he scrounged around and found a bud of marijuana and stuffed it in a bong and took a big puff to calm down, because let's face it, who doesn't need to smoke weed after gazing into the barrel of a shotgun?
Yeah.
I mean, I know I do. I need the good shit, and I need it now.
Absolutely. Well, that would be the place to find it, too. Well, let's get away from the bad news there in California. This is kind of an interesting week for me because on Tuesday I got to speak with Rob Cantrell, who's another alumni from the Last Comic Standing Season 1. And, of course, Terry is from Last Comic Standing Season 1. And she always brings us some friends to talk on our 420 Comedy Hour here. Terry, why don't you take care of the introduction?
Jay was on Last Comic Season 2. He's a season after us. But Jay London is a very funny comedian and a friend of mine and also a supporter of marijuana.
Well, Jay London, I was so glad to hear that you're going to be here. I told my wife that you were going to be on the show, and she was just thrilled. She loved you in Season 2. And all I have to say is thank you.
Thank you.
So how are you doing, Jay?
It's a nice intro that you gave me, but a little too much information. I don't like that. But, yes, I was on that show, and let's move on.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
So what are you up to now, Jay?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
I'm. You know what I do? It's called languishing. I'm languishing.
You're languishing, okay.
Yes, I'm languishing in Long Beach.
And is your languishing having anything to do with marijuana?
It could be. I use it for therapeutic reasons. It's basically a sleep inhibitor. As far as the other fine fashions out of that fine earth of ours, I really don't imbibe or imbibe. So, I'm more of an edible, just put me to sleep. Good night. That's it.
Right on. Now, are you a Prop 215 patient down there in California?
I happen to be, and I'm not going to give out my medical diagnosis yet.
Well, of course not. Of course not. But
I'm just joking. I'm just trying to be cute. That's all. I'm sorry. Let me just be somebody else now. Go ahead. Ask me another question. Go ahead.
Well, it's good to know that you're legally protected, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and I abide by all rulings, and I walk the line. I walk the line, and I think I'm a little upset. You're talking a little over talkative. I was so paranoid today, I couldn't even watch Face the Nation.
Because they're all looking at you.
Yeah, that's it. That's why That's also another reason why I indulge, because of as a therapeutic creative venue at times. Go ahead.
Right on.
That's it.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Jay. And Terry, how are things going for you down there? Is there any more shows or anything we need to get out there for our audience?
Yeah, I mean, I am tonight. I am doing the benefit. I'm performing on a benefit for the Pasadena AIDS Fund with Tanya Moon and Blue Iris.
Right.
So that's going on, and then August 31st in Venice, ironically, I'm going to be doing a show called the Free Speech Show, which is in conjunction with a website that I've been doing stuff on called ComedyNation.com. It's a 10-year anniversary, and the show is based on we have a political topic. It's been going on for 10 years as a political topic, and the comedians kind of do a round robin discussion about it and a 5-minute set on it. And they're going to have the featured comics of doing the show over the 10 years, and our topic for that show is I Have a Dream. So, I have a dream that, one day I'll be in 7-Eleven and I can, order myself a box of OG Kush.
That's your dream. Okay.
And I will be happy to pay the taxes.
Very nice. Yes. And, Jay, your dream, do you have any dreams you'd like to share with the audience?
Right now I'm in Blue Man Group.
Oh.
Well, guys, we get together each week and we talk out our problems, and that's playing right down here in my local chapter.
Okay.
Oh. Blue Man Group.
Blue Man Group, okay.
Exactly.
I heard that they're very funny too, and very poignant. It's pick of the week for the LA Weekly.
Oh, far out. So where's that at?
Okay. Oh no, for myself.
Yeah.
I have the fine availability of the Comedy Store, which is a great venue for comedy and a real workmanlike comedy workout gym rat type situation, and it's a great place. But I'm where am I doing? What's the question?
If there's any shows you're doing upcoming in the next couple of weeks.
I'm going to be playing out here at this new club in called On the Horn or Horn Blowers in Ventura County.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be there as a grand opening.
Excellent.
It's a grand opening, and it's myself and a fellow named Andres Menendez.
Okay. Do you have a website or a MySpace page anybody should know about?
Oh yeah, JLondonLive.com.
JLondonLive.com.
Thank you for promoting me. It's very nice that you promote me.
Oh yeah. We want
very nice. Thank you.
We want to support all the people that support cannabis. Now, big news in comedy this week, especially where the world of comedy and cannabis coincide, would be the announcement by Cheech and Chong that they've gotten back together and they're going to be going on a comedy tour. You guys got any plans to see the old masters at work?
I would love to. I would love to see it. I heard about it, about a week or so ago. And I actually worked with Tommy Chong once, and actually got to smoke weed with him years ago. Years ago, and there was I got to do a set, in front of him. This is like 1992. Okay. And he turned to me and he said, "Do you have any pot jokes?" And I said, "No, I don't." And he goes, "You need to get some." And so I have, but yeah, I think that they have made great ground in marijuana consciousness, and they're basically, and also about East Los Angeles and the Latino culture. I think they're pioneers, and I think it's exciting. To hear that they're together. I would love to open for them, but I have a dream.
We have a dream.
I work with Cheech and Chong.
Yeah. Well, maybe we get you and Jay to be opening acts for the Cheech and Chong show. That'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, that would be fun. That would be so much fun.
A worthy commitment, and I'm glad they're back. I read it in the papers, and and I wish them well. I think it's a sign of the also of the baby boomer types who are still yearning for that type of humor. So it's a good thing.
Now, in your act, Jay, do you do a lot of marijuana-related material? Is there anything that you like to?
One joke I wrote, I said once that I'm trying to quit pot, and I got the pot patch, and I keep it in the backyard.
The pot patch, very nice. All right. Well, we've been really blessed to have a lot of great 420 comedy this week, and none better here than Terry and Jay London joining us. We want to remind everyone to check out Jay London's website, jaylondonlive.com, and we'll have a link to that up at our blog at stash.normal.org. And before we sign off, anything else you'd like to say to our audience, Terry or Jay?
Well, Jay was just making me think about, his patch being in the yard. I was thinking it would be really cool if a bioengineer could cross corn with marijuana as a hybrid, because then you'd have a lot of high and happy farm animals obsessed with PlayStation 2.
There you go. You're extending, but yes, you're very right there. I would have to think about that. Okay.
All right.
Thank you for the opportunity. It's nice to be part of a unit, and I thank you for that. And I may sound like there's a trace of sarcasm, but it's only tiredness. That's all. So I want to thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Jay, for being with us, and Terry, thank you always for bringing us the great 420 comedy on Thursdays.
Just say no. Inhale. I inhale frequently. I never use marijuana. Marijuana remains not medicine. This is the Cheech and Chong Show.
NORML's 37th Annual National Conference, Friday, October 17 through Sunday, October 19, at the Doubletree Hotel, Berkeley Marina, Berkeley, California. Get your tickets now for the nation's largest pro-cannabis reform political conference. NORML has early bird conference pricing and reduced room rates, but these special deals will go fast. This year's theme is, It's Not Your Parents' Prohibition. Don't put it off. Book your reservations now for the NORML National Conference in Berkeley, California, Friday, October 17 through Sunday, October 19. For more information, visit norml.org and click on the conference button on the right, or call NORML at 1-888-67-NORML. Here at the NORML Daily Audio Stash, we work hard to change our nation's marijuana laws through education and discussion. But we also take time to relax and unwind with an eclectic mix of pod-safe music from many independent artists. We look for music that speaks to the growing truth about cannabis, or music that speaks to broader themes of freedom, liberty, social justice, equality, and protest. To find out more about the artists and download the music you hear on this podcast, just log on to stash.normal.org. And if you'd like to get your music heard by the online cannabis community, just send us an email at stash@normal.org. Welcome to our musical break, Stashers. Today we're going to get all country on you with the Stumbleweeds. They send out the perfect message with their song, A Girl Don't Have to Drink to Have Fun. It's a great cover of a Wanda Jackson song. Think Loretta Lynn or Tanya Tucker, and then add some cool bass licks and a bit of attitude, and you have the Stumbleweeds' fun, rockabilly, and country sound. Lynette Lenker has the perfect vocals for this genre of music. She's backed up by Lisa Beauregard, with Dennis Kelly on lead guitar, Jack Hanlon on the stand-up bass, and Johnny Cote on drums. The band is from Boston, but their sound is pure country, and they play all over the U.S. and Europe. Visit their MySpace page for fun pictures of the band, and you can also visit their website at stumbleweeds.com for even more fun from the Stumbleweeds. Get your honky-tonk on and enjoy the Stumbleweeds. We know you don't have to drink to have fun. You can get that MySpace link up at our blog, stash.normal.org, where you'll also find a download for the MP3 of this song. It's the Stumbleweeds with A Girl Don't Have to Drink to Have Fun.
Trouble. I saw you wink for the waiter to slip me a double. If you want some barroom swinger, I'm not your one. 'Cause I don't think a girl's gotta drink to have fun. Mama said when I went out in the world, drinking ain't the thing for a sweet young girl. I didn't listen then, but now I'm here to shout that my dear old mama knew what she was talking about. So if you want another round, just order one. 'Cause I don't think a girl's gotta drink to have fun. Don't bother bringing a bottle when you call, 'cause I like my kisses straight, or not at all. I want to be sure I remember everyone. And I don't think a girl's gotta drink to have fun. Mama said when I went out in the world, drinking ain't the thing for a sweet young girl. I didn't listen then, but now I'm here to shout that my dear old mama knew what she was talking about. So if you want another round, just order one. 'Cause I don't think a girl's gotta drink to have fun. No, I don't think a girl's gotta drink to have fun.
Hi, I'm Keith Straub, the founder of NORML. In all the years since 1970 that I've been fighting marijuana prohibition, I've learned that drug warriors love to confuse the public with statistics. Lately, they've claimed that there are more teens enrolled in drug treatment for marijuana than ever before. It's a statement that, while true, is intentionally misleading. What they don't tell you is that marijuana arrests have skyrocketed to over 800,000 arrests per year. They also don't tell you that we've gone from a few dozen drug courts in the 1990s to over 2,500 drug courts today. The kicker is that those drug courts sentence teens routinely to drug treatment for marijuana whether they need drug treatment or not. So they arrest more people for pot, require them to enter drug treatment, then claim the higher treatment numbers justify more pot arrests. It's an absurd proposition, but no more absurd than banning a plant. Learn the facts about pot. Visit NORML.org today.
More 420 comedy here for you on this Stash Thursday. We've got a new comedian joining us here, a friend by the name of Big Al. Big Al, welcome to the Daily Audio Stash.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Hey, so where are you located anyway?
I'm in Herndon, Virginia.
Ah, Virginia. Okay. And you've been doing 420 comedy for a while, a lot of marijuana references in your material?
Ever since I started.
Ever since you started comedy or started smoking?
Ever since I started doing comedy.
Okay. So, what's the reaction? You're in the Virginia area there. What's the reaction from your crowds, when you're doing your stand-up? Do you find that there's some places that get the jokes a little better than others?
Everywhere it's the same. Everybody gets it. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. It's just such a shame that the other 39 states of the United States haven't decriminalized it. It's everyone knows what I'm talking about. I get so many comments after the show saying that your pot jokes were really funny, and stuff like that. And it's just great to do. It's just golden. You can always count on those jokes to get big laughs.
Yeah, we're going to be playing a little bit of Big Al's comedy here right after the interview, so you can get a listen to it. And in case people want to catch you live, where are some places they can see you?
This weekend, I'll be at the Hyatt in Bethesda, Maryland, but I am going to be taping my second CD August 22nd and 23rd in Tyson's Corner, Virginia, at the Best Western, which is also called Wiseacres Comedy Club.
Wiseacres Comedy Club, okay. And as far as people wanting to try to track you down or buy your first CD, do you have a website where they can get that information?
Sure, it's alangoodwin.com, and that's 2 L's and an A, alangoodwin.com.
Okay, alangoodwin.com. We'll have a link to that up on our blog as well at stash.normal.org. And before we turn over to the comedy, is there anything else you'd like to tell our listeners about your work or just the marijuana issue in general?
Oh, I'm just a big advocate for the legalization of it, and you know, here's something that you're not going to hear in the material that you're going to play after this interview, and that is, here's a good analogy. A lot of people are against gay marriage, and the thing is, if they legalize marijuana on a national level tomorrow, there's a lot of people that have never done it because it's been illegal and they've been afraid to, but now they find out that it's okay for them to do it. They would give it a whirl, and it would be a little awkward. They've never done it before. They'd be like, am I holding it right? Oh my God, I don't know. What do I do? Take a little puff? Shut up, Becky. I'm going to do it. All right. Just stop it. You're pressuring me. And then they'd be like, all right, so I just hold it like this. And then I just like a little puff like that. Like, oh my God, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Right. But if they legalize gay marriage tomorrow, it's not like all of a sudden I'm going to be like, oh my God, am I holding it right? Oh my God, I've never done this before. Shut up, Becky, I'm going to do it. What do you do, like the reach out? I don't know. You know, I'm just saying the government should just get out of people's business that isn't affecting other people. Anyways, that's my 2 cents.
Okay, well, thank you, Big Al Goodwin. And again, check him out at alangoodwin.com, ALLANGOODWIN.com, alangoodwin.com. Al, thanks for joining us here on The Stash.
Thanks for having me, and don't forget to be my friend on MySpace.
Oh, that's right. Check out the MySpace, too.
I was a big stoner in high school. And I think that's why they called it high school, to be quite honest with you. It was really bad for me in high school because I have dyslexia, and it's not good to be a stoner, dyslexic high school student because you do stupid stuff. I would stand by that drug-free school zone sign for hours, just waiting and waiting. If you got that, tell a friend, okay? I never went out for sports, either like basketball or football, but if they had a team for smoking pot and masturbating, I would have lettered in that. I'd still be in college on some extended scholarship program. Like, Olympics, dude, next year, gold medal, I'd rock it, dude. I don't think that's a team sport, though, is it? Oh, dude, we're going to the Rose Bowl. No, dude, we're going to the Bond Bowl. All right. Sponsored by Easy Wider and Doritos. Nice. That's awesome. In high school, though, the jocks would tease me. That's the worst part about high school. The jocks would make fun of me. They'd always say stuff like, stoners have bad memory loss. And I'd be like, yeah? Well, that's not so bad. Because how about when you go to load the bong and it's already loaded? That is like a bonus right there, okay? But the part about high school that I hated the most were the guys on the football team because they would tease me for being a stoner too. They would always say stuff like, stoners have bad memory loss. And I'd be like, yeah? That's not so bad. So how about when you go to load the ball and it's already loaded? That's like a bonus right there. We always used to go to my house to get high after school because my parents both had day jobs, so we never got caught. Except once Mom called in sick and loaned her car to a friend on the same day. So we thought she was at work because her car wasn't in the driveway. So we're in my room getting high. She comes in out of nowhere. It's like Family Feud. She comes in and says, what are you guys doing smoking marijuana in this house? And I was like, peer pressure. My friend's like, get answer, man. They're not your friends. They're just using you because your parents have day jobs, okay? And they could always tell us hi when they came back from the kitchen. That's when I couldn't hide it anymore, all right? This is the best piece of Wonder Bread that I've ever had in my entire life. I've got to try this. You're a waste. I hated that. And we would put the pot in the butter and make brownies with the butter, and you get really high off those. Somebody's done that over there? Yeah? They work. You get really high off those, but then you get the munchies and all you got left is a big plate of brownies, so it's like a vicious circle. You can't smoke pot all the time, though, because it'll warp your perception. One time I was really wasted. I was watching a show about sexual harassment, and there was a girl on the show, like a sexually harassed victim girl. And I was looking at her, and I was like, who would sexually harass her? No, seriously, because her face is all scrambled and cubed, and her voice is like, I was sitting at my desk when a man came up from behind. I was like, ew, gross. Like, of course he got it from behind. She had really nice hair. I can't get my daughter into drug talk because I got busted when I was 17 for smoking pot. And if you're stupid enough, first of all, to smoke pot in downtown Baltimore in broad daylight at the Inner Harbor when you're 17, do not use a bong, okay? That's fine. I had to spend the night in jail. I had to pay a $75 fine, and I experienced anal sex. I'm just kidding. $50 fine. The guy still writes, so it's nice to get those letters. I had to go to court over the whole thing, and it wasn't a judge court, it was a jury court. You know how they say it's a jury of your peers? Well, peers are people just like you. Wouldn't it be great if it really was a jury of your peers? I was 17 years old at the time, you know. I would have loved it if there were 12, 17-year-old guys up there, like, foreman of the jury, have you reached your verdict? One of the guys stands up, me and the other fellows, we talked it over, and, dude, let him go, man. Give him his ball back! Potatoes. You know, the real deal is that Nancy Reagan started that program, Just Say No to Drugs, and when she started that program, she grouped marijuana up there with all the really bad drugs like crack and heroin and PCP and Zima, and marijuana doesn't belong in that list, right? Like, if you ever watch the show Cops, when they bust a crack house and when they bust a pot house, it's different. Like a crack house, on the show Cops, they come up with the, woo! Come out of the house with your hands up, this is the police, we have the place surrounded. Some guy on the third floor of the crack house goes to the window, he's like, look, I got 3 people in here with me, man! I'm not afraid to cut their heads off! Even for ashtrays, okay? That's the best one with up your pigs! That's a crack house, right? You've seen that. Pot house is a little different, right? It's cops rolling up, woo! Come out of the house with your hands up, this is the police, we have the place surrounded. Some guy on the third floor of the pot house goes to the window, he's like,
Thank you for downloading the NORML Daily Audio Stash, the growing truth about cannabis. We are produced by the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws in Washington, D.C. Our executive producer is Alan St. Pierre. Our deputy director is Paul Armentano. Our webmaster is Brian Judy. And web production is provided by Red Aphid Interactive Media. As always, you can catch up on the latest information about marijuana at www.norml.org. And you can interact and download from our Audio Stash blog at stash.norml.org. For everyone here at NORML, I'm your host, Radical Russ Belville, hoping all your harvests are bountiful and your encounters with law enforcement are non-existent. We leave you today with another one of our cannabis quotes, this one from the decision of Francis L. Young, a former DEA administrative law judge in 1988, who said, quote, "Based on the facts established in this record, the judge recommends that the administrator transfer cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 2. Marijuana, in its natural form, is one of the safest therapeutically active substances known to man. By any measure of rational analysis, cannabis can safely be used within a supervised routine of medical care. End quote. And 20 years later, 12 states have decided that Francis L. Young, the DEA administrative law judge, was correct. Now we just need to get the federal government to take its own judge's advice. I'm Radical Russ. Thanks for joining us here on the Daily Audio Stash. We'll be back tomorrow with more news and interviews that you can use for the cannabis community. And until next time, take care of each other, tokers.